If you missed my deck profile for week 5 of the Elestrals Championship League, you can find that video linked down in the description below or up in the card above. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the match. So getting into game 1 here, Baron rolls didn't roll there, throws the 13, and I believe I rolled a 1, so Baron will be on the play here. So starting off, I believe I have a pretty decent hand with some Wyrmite, some killing use to answer stuff, but Baron's going first, so Baron sets 2 and just casts out an Ignector. A very strong play to go for with going first, as now Baron can summon out 2 more and have a bunch of Elestrals on board to easily send up into Blazers. I'm going to have to commit a lot of cards just to answer these if I want to prevent that, which isn't very likely. So very strong start here. Just decides to throw him to attack. It's not like I can really punish it right away. I mean, theoretically, I could go Poseidon and just load something with 2 spirits, but that's not really optimal. So you're starting with Ampharex. This is also a strong start for me, as even if it gets attacked over, I can resummon it during the end phase and be able to, well, guess not. It gets to shield. Theoretically, if it gets attacked over by Blazerus, I can easily, speaking of the Blazerus, here it is. I can just resummon it during the end phase and go into my own Blazerus if need be. So here, Ignector pokes for 1, I take it. Ignector pokes for another, I take it. And here I do have the shield for Blazerus. So now my goal is just try to answer those Ignectors so Baron cannot re-ascend into that Blazerus, which is definitely very scary here. So you're going back over to my turn. On parry with Spirits 14 to 14, though Baron's got 2 more on board. I do play out my Ampharex again, set 1. I believe I top decked into that answer, which is quite nice, and just tack over the Ignector as well, just to kind of keep him off those bodies on board so he can't start poking me yet again. And it goes back over to Baron. Baron then, of course, just ascends the Ignector back into the Blazerus because, well, that's what the goal of these decks are, just to go right into Blazerus, or at least he eventually will. I think he's debating it, but yeah, he does end up going into that Blazerus just to pressure. Double attack, 5 attack, very, very strong here. So here, Baron just kind of gauging the rest of his hand if he wants to do anything else. Nope, he just attacks, and actually, I don't have the shield. I have the Gorgon's Gaze, which is still a fine rip, because here I do have the Kinleo in hand to try to answer the Blazerus, and here he needs exactly Gorgon Gaze to stop it. So here, declare Nexus to it, and it does get Gorgon's Gaze, unfortunately, here. So, of course, hey, if that's the one answer, is what it is. Nothing I can really do about it. Pass it back over to Baron. I've got no protection on the field, but at least Kinleo 2 spirits means I'm taking 1 less spirit of damage. So here, Baron goes Hephaestus. With only 1 spirit telling me that he does have another Hephaestus in hand, adds a hammer, and, adds a hammer from deck to hand. And then here, he ends up setting 2, I believe, after setting 1 already this turn. Nope, he just keeps the 1, attacks over, and then attacks me for 2 spirits. It's not feeling great here, as Baron's up now 4 spirits, kind of the ones on board, but it's also not the end of the world. I do have my Wyrmite here to start challenging this Blazerus, and here I do set 1, and it is a Tsunami, so I'm actually feeling quite all right if he decides to, yep, Gorgon's Gaze here. Hey, I'm fine with that, better than a shield. I figure best way is just try to answer the Blazerus. Arguably here, though, I think I should have just cast it out and just waited. It does run into an Earthquake, but just kind of force that answer and allows me to keep the Wyrmite on board and still have the ability to kind of pressure it at a later turn. So in hindsight, I do think that was a bit better. Didn't end up doing it, but we'll see. I have the Tsunami here, so I'm feeling really, at least decent here. I'm not in a bad spot. So here, Baron does decide to, I believe he expended to draw. I kind of missed the spirit count there. I know, at least, yeah, he does this turn expend to draw, because he doesn't end up casting out another Lustral, which feels really nice for me, since I'm already a bit behind. Here's just kind of debating what he wants to do. So he ends up setting 3, I believe, this turn. It's really taking a bit here. Yeah, set 1, 2, 3, and I'm just figuring most, if not all of them, are rough, and then he expends to draw. I'm figuring those are just bluffs at this point. Had this night and realized I expended all my water spirits. Yeah, that hurt. That was a huge misplay on my part. I was just thinking, I haven't seen any of my water cards. I can safely expend those water spirits. I should have kept 1, arguably 2. Here I do have a follow-up Wyrmite. I just go in Berger because I do need the spirits back, but I'd be in such a better position here if I just kept the water spirits. It hurts so much. I don't know where my head was at. That was just such a huge blunder. In hindsight, probably should have warmed up because it's been a week since I played Elestrals. I should have played some warm-up games just to get back in the mindset better holding my spirit. So here, fortunately, was able to recover some with the Ambrosia, but it just set me so far behind. Like, I would have been in such a great position if I just kept that 1 water spirit. Here, Volcarius attacks. I just let it attack over, and now I'm in an awkward position. I found some more water Elestrals, such as Smoltuga, I believe is what I have in hand. I got like a Smoltuga, and I don't think I have another Wyrmite. I think it's just the Smoltuga here that I'm debating. I know I have some other cards. It might have also, no, I had the Ampharex in this hand. That's what it is. I've got, I don't have the Smoltuga quite yet, but I know I have an Ampharex, and I'm just kind of debating what I want to do here, because I'm at 3 spirits, Baron's at 6, and I'm just kind of tilting here. So yeah, I just misenchant the Smoltuga, hoping maybe I can find a Kinleo, ascend into a Blazer. So actually, no, I didn't have the Ampharex in this hand. I think I have a Blazerus in hand. So I just figured that's my best bet to get out of this. I think they're both bluffs anyway. He does have the second Volcarius, which kind of hurts because now he can easily hit over it, but I do have the Tsunami, but an Earthquake to answer at me. My Blazerus doesn't out it. I have a Tsunami. I can stall at least 1 more turn, hoping to find something, and I just scoop it up because I don't find anything. So getting into game 2 here, I'm really hoping to bring it back. The only thing is I sided out were the the Ampharyx for the Ignectors, hoping to start off. Unfortunately, I don't find any, but it's a decent enough hand that I keep with it. But really looking to come back after that huge misplay last game. Oh, and Baron's mulliganing, so that's a good sign for me to at least have a chance in this second game to get back into it. But I felt like my deck did what it wanted to do in that last game. Like, I had a real shot there. Baron just kind of showed off his hand to show how crazy it was. But considering that Tsunami, if I just played it right, I had like double Wormite in hand to start pressuring that Blazerous. It would have been in a great position there just to start answering stuff. If he even started spawning out more, that Tsunami could have caught them. And I did draw into a Tsunami in a later turn as well. So again, if I just kept those 2 Water Spirits, I think I had a really good shot at winning it and just being able to control the pace of the game even without losing Blazerous. And since I have Blazerous coming up, and those 3 back row were actually bluffs. It was Hephaestus, Earthquake, and Hammer, which I kind of called. Actually, I don't think it was Hammer. It was Hephaestus. I think he said he held Hammer in hand, but it was another bluff. We did confirm that. So here I just Gorgon's Gaze to take care of the Volcaries, which is really strong here, just to force him to expend another Spirit, even though I used 2, but it keeps tempo on board. And then here I go Necruff. So yeah, again, I'm feeling pretty good this game. Again, last game I was feeling pretty good as well until that misplay with my deck being able to keep up and answer it. Wormite's coming in clutch. But here, just kind of using Necruff beatdown to be able to control the game here. That Gorgon's Gaze felt so good. And then I get to hit in for 2. So Baron here just really put on the back burner, especially, or the back foot, since he had to already expend 2 mulligan at the beginning of the game. So here Baron's just debating how does he want to answer 2 Necruffs. He has Earthquake to be able to catch up, but again, that's 2 spirits, and probably some strong attackers as well. So here Baron decides to go, I believe this is the Viscerous turn. He's just kind of taking inventory here. What does he want to do? I believe, yep, actually no, it's the Equal Link's turn. So he goes Equal Links here into Hephaestus, Nexus to pop my back row. It is a shield, so good call. But Equal Links doesn't really do too much. And I'm feeling actually pretty good because now I can summon a third Elestral to try to attack over this Equal Links. And those 2, since he doesn't have Tsunami, I know he has no wide removal. It's just single target answers. So I go Kinleo here, seeing if I can bait out a back row. It doesn't hit over the Equal Links, unfortunately, but I believe I do have a Volcanic Forge in hand to help me modulate to attack over it. I'm just kind of gauging to see what back row he has before I play it, because here, if he does PTA, then I don't need to play Volcanic Forge because I know there's only one answer, and he does have the PTA. So here I'm like, okay, I don't need to Volcanic Forge. There's no reason to risk it. Give his Volcaries a buff up to hit over my Knockruff with no back row. Here, my Knockruffs can just handle it, and then I can poke in for 1 with the Kinleo. So I just set 1, attack over exactly as I said I would do, expends 1 there, the other 2 attack for 2 more spirits, and he expends the 1 for the poison tipped arrow, destroying the Kinleo. So I'm not feeling too bad here. I do lose a way to destroy something with Nexus, but at the same time, I still have 2 Necruffs on board, and it really just worked out as I wanted to. I'm just trying to ride this tempo to a victory. So you're passing back over to Baron's turn, just kind of doing what he wants to do, and here's the Viscerous play. So here he decides to crash. He knows to take a spirit, but he just needs to get those off the board by having another Gorgon's Gaze. Me and Mike Necruff trades so well, and it's just, this tempo here is just amazing for me. The answers I need to, when I need them, feel great. I have to expend to draw here, which is a bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world since I'm up on board. So you're just kind of hitting twice, and Baron passes back over to Baron. He's at 5 spirits, but did the Ambrosia push them back up to 7, which is kind of what he wants to see here, but he's still at a 4 spirit deficit from Spirit Deck. Really, I would say a 6 spirit, or a 5 spirit deficit from that, but really a 7 spirit deficit because my Elestral's on board. He finds Ignector, which is not what he wants to see, and one of them's in hand. So he really, after that mulligan, just a brick hand. That's really hurts, and he just has to pass it back over. Here, I've got a Blazerous hand, so I'm just kind of debating here what makes sense to push this lethal, and it turns out just ascending Blazerous does it. With Aura Spirits, even if he shields, Necruff still puts him down to 1 spirit. Sure, he has a body on board, but it's not great. But here, like, the Blazerous can just win it, and yeah, he just has PTA, so that is GG there, because Blazerous can deal 1 each, the Necruff deals 1, and I just cleared the board anyway. So we just move right along to game 2, or game 3, excuse me. So as we wait for this to finish up, one correction from game 2, I just realized the spirit count on the board was not correct. Baron was actually at 3 spirits, so it was lethal, because Blazerous hits for 2, Necruff hits for 1. That does that. Even if he has shield, that still gets rid of the final 3 spirits. Even though he has a buy on board, he would need to top deck Ambrosia. Hence why I went for that play, because it was more or less a checkmate. So you're getting into game 3, though. I do have the mulligan, which hurts. My hand, it had some small attackers. Like, I think it had a Wormite. It just had no defensive options to really get caught up. I had a Kinleo, but no Nexus Bank. So I was like, I don't think I can comfortably stick with this hand with Baron going first. So I just want to mulligan and hopefully find some better stuff. This time I don't have an Elestral, but I have more runes, which I feel a lot more comfortable with. And Baron starts off with the Ignector again. I did set up my Ignectors for the Ampharyxes, as I said I would in my deck profile, so hopefully those will come in clutch, but that hurts. And here, still no Elestral. So I had the mulligan, no Elestral. I'm facing down Ignectors. At least I have ways to answer it in the form of back row, but really I want to be establishing stuff on board, starting to hit over, because now I still have to deal with 3 Ignectors on the next turn. Like, they bypass any, Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I'm running Poison Tipped Arrow this week. I already forgot my deck profile. But here's Tsunami just to stave off all that damage. Seems really good. And here I decide I just need to get caught up on board. I did draw a Kinleo. I got a Volcanic Forge in hand. So I'm just going to go Helios' Cherry Ride to stop Baron from being able to respond to this and just hope that this can carry me to getting back on board and I can just swarm from there because I'm already down so many spirits. It's going to take me down even more. So I Laurels, get rid of the Viscerus because that's the most important one to get rid of. I mean, sure, yeah, you could ascend. It's not going to ascend over it, but Viscerus itself is scary. So then Kinleo to be able to destroy one and get rid of another one. So I'm down to 2 cards in hand, but he's down to 1 Ignector. I have another back row, so I'm at least feeling all right, and he does have the Blazerus here, and I do have the shield for it. So I'm feeling great here. Sure, he's got some back row. I'm down quite a few spirits, which is where I'm not feeling great, but I've got a Kinleo on board, so at least I can start trying to come back. I just need to keep up the pressure, kind of keep him off that Blazerus as well. Though that back row is a bit scary. I've got Blazerus in hand. I'm debating if I want to ascend into it. And my thought process here is, well, if I don't have any other Elestrals to cast at this time, at least I believe that's what is in my hand. If I do have another one to normal cast, I should have just normal cast it. Here I'm just like, I need to get caught up. Just being able to swing for 6 spirits is going to be so strong, but he has the shield. So this is probably the worst answer there. I was hoping to see maybe a Gorgon's Gaze. That would have been more preferable. But here Baron does have to... Was that the Expended Blazerus? Yeah, that was it is an expended draw, so I'm still got a chance here. I got Emphyrix. That's feeling great because now if I can establish an Emphyrix on board, ascend to Blazerus again, I'm feeling pretty good. He does have another back row. Oh, but the Poison Tipped Arrow, but I do get to hit him for once. This will help me get caught up. I'll use Emphyrix's ability here to be able to bring it back. Baron just has no response to it, so I'm able to bring it back. So because I figure here, let's just try to get back into that Blazerus, and hopefully that can carry me to a victory. It's going to be a bit iffy here. Baron does have the Necrof, and that is awkward because here, looking at my spirit deck, I have 2 water spirits left, so if Necrof hits over, I can't properly ascend into Blazerus. So that's very awkward here. If I had an extra fire spirit, I could have gone back into the Blazerus and hoped to pressure it, but that back row is a bit scary as well, so I don't know if that would have necessarily outed it. So here, unfortunately, I think with my hand, it made sense to keep the 2 water spirits, but it doesn't end up working out. And here he does have the Poison Tipped Arrow from Multiple Station, so I just say GG there. There's not much I can do. And here, there's Bluff, Gorgon's Gaze. He did have the Earthquake for the Blazer, so I don't think it would have done much. Alas, I lose to Red Baron 2-1. I'm honestly quite disappointed because I felt like my deck was really solid. It did what I wanted it to do. And it's very evident in both Game 1 and Game 2. If only I misplayed in Game 1, I probably could have ran away with it 2-0. Not guaranteed because, of course, there's still a bit of game left in that after the Tsunami misplay in Game 1, but I felt like it just set me up for such an amazing position, especially since I would have found another Tsunami to switch more stuff to defense to be able to just kind of continue poking over it with the Warmite. And Baron really didn't seem to have much with 3 defense. I mean, there was the Equal Links. That would have been obnoxious in defense position, but at the same time, I did find a Blazers later to just start pressuring again, and Baron and I were pretty even on spirits. So I really think I had Game 1 there if I hadn't misplayed. Game 2 clearly showed off how I can just kind of tempo my way out of it. Baron definitely got a bit unlucky there. And then in Game 3, the Pendulum Arm for variant swung back around into Baron's favor and not my favor. Having to mulligan, not finding a Lestral, that really hurt. But that Kinleo play did exactly what I wanted it to. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough there. It was too far behind. But overall, deck building, awesome. Actual match, man, that one hurt a lot. But it was a fun match regardless to rewatch. But now I want to hear from you all. What is your favorite part from this match? And for all of you who say my misplay, fair. Honestly, in hindsight, that was kind of funny that I just completely forgot to have a water. And if you could notice, I had the Ambrosia in hand. I did have it. I just didn't think to check my spirits. So I could have even Ambrosia to recover the water spirits. So yeah, that's definitely an iconic moment that'll go down in the greatest ECL misplays, at least for this second season. And if you've enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you're notified when I do upload more content. You can also find all my fellow ECL participants' channel links down in the description below. Red Baron's, aka Elestralization, will be right at the top since he was my opponent this week. There's still 4 more weeks for the ECL, 3 more that I am playing in before playoffs. We'll see if I can get some wins these last few weeks to be able to scrap my way into at least competing for 4th or 3rd place. That would be ideal. I'm not holding my breath on this one just because this is what, my second loss? I think it was, the first one was against Wirtz and now Baron, and there's also been a few other 2-1s in my favor, so I'm not feeling too confident, but hey, maybe we'll see. But with all that being said though, look forward to more content coming out real soon.